Am I the asshole for farting on Thanksgiving dinner when my mother tried to bring up an embarrassing moment my stepdaughter had? Female 35 stepdaughter Sophie 14 has been struggling with health problems that cause her to wet the bed from time to time. No one knew about the bedwetting thing till we spent a night at my mother's house. Sophie had wet the bed in the guest room and my mother found out. My wife and I explained the situation, offered to clean it up. We asked her to not tell anybody about what she saw because Sophie is already in a bad mentally and would not be able to handle any comments. She even said that she stopped visiting if it gets out. My mother crossed her heart and promised us, and we thought this was the end of it. On Thanksgiving dinner that was held at my mother's house. While we were eating and taking about a bunch of stuff, my brother motioned that his dog peed in the kitchen. I looked at my mother and she looked like she had a similar story to tell, and that's what she loves to do. Just gossip and share similar stories. I knew what she was going to say when she opened her mouth and said, "Speaking of pee." I felt helpless and tongue-tied. I couldn't even speak, so I just let out a loud fart as a means of distraction. Everyone stopped and stared at me. It was very awkward. People were going yo, kid laughing, including Sophie, just a mix of reactions, but my mother was livid. She started berating me later about behaving disgracefully and shamelessly on Thanksgiving dinner, no less. I admitted it was on purpose to stop her from sharing an embarrassing moment of my stepdaughter and potentially traumatizing her for years to come. She laughed at the word traumatizing, then called me childish and said I should be ashamed of myself for pulling this stunt at her home. On her Thanksgiving dinner we had to leave and my wife and Sophie were laughing but still had no idea why I did it. Now my mother is upset and so is my father because he had invited his friends and I made him look bad. Am I the asshole?